Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going straight into the action here for the last series of the day. It's Spacestation Gaming versus M2KC in game number 1.
Okay, here we go. We all get a point, right? We all get our two stickers.
2 points.
We all get 2
which
points.
Is the same as
2 points, 2
it's
points.
the same as us all getting no points, though, right?
But they're,
Come
you
on,
have 2
we
more
all
stickers.
winners. What's wrong with them? Yeah.
Everybody's a winner, yeah.
Everyone's a winner. It feels good.
Actually, that's not true. One of these teams will be a loser at the end of the series, so we will see how this one goes on. It's going to be Spacestation Gaming versus M2KC, and that's going to be a spell steal counterspell, or actually just a quick counterspell coming in from Cerealium on a Gorecki. Who are they going to be able to go after in this match? And I kind of mentioned at the beginning, before we cut the break before the series, that one of the reasons I didn't think M2KC would play this comp is because yesterday, when we saw Mystery Org go up against Spacestation Gaming, it could have been this exact same matchup, but they opted to not go for it and play Windwalker Demon Hunter instead, which makes me think that Spacestation Gaming has a very good track record with this composition into the Windwalker Fire Mage Paladin. So I don't know. I'm definitely curious to see who M2KC is going to be going after. I feel like Gorecki is probably going to be a good target for them, going after the Paladin with cross crowd control and Smexen. Definitely going to be a solid option, but we'll have to wait and see.
All right, let's see what they can get done here with paralyzes across the board onto the Paladins. Touch of Death rolling for Chun-Li. Trying to get something going here, but not finding even a scratch onto M2KC. Gorecki's charging in on top of Brain, hammers down. Going after Cerealium. Smexen falls behind a bit, though, as Gorecki is repositioning. He recovers with Avenging Wrath. Avenging Wrath on both sides. Polymorph on Diminishing Return to get the double sweep, though. Good value on the leg sweep. Unfortunate about the Polymorph. Not going to find a kill with only a 1-second Polymorph. This is looking like a matchup that could go the distance. In terms of dampening, prior to dampening, I feel like the Windwalkers are probably the most likely target to die. I'm just double-checking the builds here on Smexen. Yeah, he's full versatility, so he's going to be quite a tanky shaman here, as well as Cerealium, I can imagine. Actually, he's mixing in a little bit of Expedient, just the tiniest bit there, so interesting, not running the full tank build, but stunning those Windwalkers, bursting them down in stuns, I think is going to be important, but they might even swap to Paladin. Bit interesting here. Chun-Li going after Brain with the Fist of Fury, taking him down about 30%. He's going to recover, though. They paralyze Gorecki. They're going after Drake. Divine Favor's up. Big heal from Brain. Gorecki in a ring into a blinding light. Specs in a bit of trouble. Trades out the Astral Shift. Oh, but the crowd control is not ending. Astral Shift is over. They need to respond here. Is it going to be a sacrifice? Big hit with those slappers. Spawning a ton of tentacles on a Smexen. Drake laying in, but Gorecki, with that Avenging Wrath, recovers quite rapidly.
Excellent stuff there by Gorecki. He is going to hold on to his sacrifice there as well, so he's going to be pushing in now, getting the Hammer of Justice. Can he get any crowd control, though, to follow that up? It doesn't look like a nice counterspell here onto Gorecki by Cerealium. He's going to get the sheep here, most likely. Let's see what they can get done. Smexen's already running for his life. Brain doesn't have the Hammer of Justice just yet, it seems, and they're going to activate the Touch of Death here. Gorecki, though, breaks out of the crowd control. Still didn't activate his sacrifice here. Touch of Death could blow up any moment here onto Smexen, but doesn't look like he actually took a big hit there. His HP is barely going to move. Assuming he's running maybe a mix of Versa and Gushing, taking a decent beating here, but not too scared. And now Chan going in for the crowd control. Cerealium's about 50%. Gore is pushing in. Hammer of Justice on Cerealium. Nice Ring of Peace. And that knock from the Shaman there as well. Or sorry, the Captain total from the Shaman there to set up that crowd control there. Excellently done. It's going to force them to pop. Smexen now taking a lot of damage here. Gorecki does get the Vitality Conduit before he gets blinded. Otherwise, that could have been a dicey situation for Spacestation Gaming. And honestly, the matchup looks kind of even so far.
Yeah, I mean, very back and forth. Only 4 minutes have elapsed into the game so far. Haven't scratched the surface of dampening just yet. Both Paladins doing healthy on mana, and both teams kind of just exchanging blows. I mean, Cerealium stacking full versatility, Smexen stacking full versatility makes them both very durable targets. A lot of disruption in terms of crowd control. So I think this is going to come down to probably, this could even be a match that comes down to mana, potentially. Paralyze on Brain, and looks like Temporal Shield will be enough to keep Cerealium alive. They make a swap. Great pressure here by Spacestation Gaming. Drake getting a little bit low, Cerealium also. Brain trying to get away from Chun-Li as he rolls over and just creating multiple pressure points in the match with Smexen. In terms of pressure, I would say Spacestation Gaming, they do have a lead right now.
Let's see if they can maintain it. Consistently, we see these bursts of damage on the Smexen, potentially pulling the Astral Shift here. Didn't preemptively activate it. Big hit with that Meteor. If they have any follow-up damage, doesn't look like it. Fist of Fury not enough. Vitality Conduit's up. Ceruleum now taking a huge Drestigath hit. Brain immediately responding with the Trinket Sacrifice. Ready at the trigger there to deny the Cauterized Force from Ceruleum. Those Paladin cooldowns want to be rotated through before the other DPS members because of Ineffable Truth, reducing them so significantly. So I think it was a smart reaction from Brain. They hold on to Cauterize and block. Combustion available. Grecky gets interrupted. Smexen could be in trouble. He's going to use Astral Shift. Is it going to be enough here? We're only at 3% dampening. Grecky's out of the counterspell now. Trying to pick him up, but doesn't look like Grecky has Avenging Wrath for another second, so he's a little bit slow to pick him up. He actually uses Sacrifice there, maybe trying to preempt some crowd control. They're trying to punish Brain for using Gladiator's Medallion earlier by attacking him, but Polymorphs from Ceruleum more than enough to peel for Brain. Both Paladins right next to each other on that pillar. Who's going to go for the Hammer of Justice first is the question here. Both struggling a bit to heal the Mage and Shaman respectively at 6% dampening, but crowd control engages for M2KC. Chun-Li tries to counter, engages a double leg, paralyzed on the break. Nice timing by Chun-Li, totally shutting down that push. Now Spacestation Gaming look to reverse it. Hammer of Justice, they're going after Brain. The Paladins with Ineffable Truth don't have that much versatility compared to the other 4 members of the team, so curious to see if they do opt to go for Brain again in the future. Chun-Li seems to be going after him. Grecky in a Blinding Light, Chun-Li in a Poly. It's 3 versus 1. This is a dangerous time for Smexen. Uses Thunderstorm, but Drake gets clipped by that little hill on the Grand Arena, so he doesn't go too far from the knockback. They reconnect on to Smexen, who's down to half. Vitality Conduit comes out for Gorecki. Smexen stabilizes. Brain now in a stun. Stun on Ceruleum. They're going for the triple stun threat over onto Drake. With the Lightning Lasso, not enough damage to KO. He retreats back to the pillar. Gorecki's on top of him. Ring of Peace interrupts the Divine Favor. Paralyze. They purge it off, I believe. So nice purge there, but not going to result in a kill, unfortunately. Mana reasonably even between the teams now at 12% dampening.
Yeah, we are in 12% dampening here, and right now Ceruleum is kind of feeling it. A nice hammer here onto Brain. Do they have the damage though to force a Cauterize here potentially? Big damage coming in on Ceruleum. DR leg sweep, but Smexen, he's not going to be able to connect. He's going to go ahead and Lightning Lasso Drake. Drake using his human racial there to break out of the Lightning Lasso, and now they're swapping onto Smexen, full blind here onto Gorecki. Let's see what they can get done here. Do they get the polymorph? Ceruleum is hesitating with it. He could have gotten it. I'm not sure. Maybe Gorecki wasn't DR there. I feel like it would have been a very uncharacteristic mistake to just cancel that poly there, but Ceruleum knows best, and we're going to see what else they can force here. They got the Astral Shift in that exchange. Now Gorecki, Divine Favor, big Holy Light coming out here, but he gets Ring of Peace onto it. Do they have the spell? Do they have the counter spell? Ceruleum has the counter spell, but I don't know if Gorecki is ever going to be in his line of sight. And now once again, Brain here getting pressured by Chun. Smexen going for the Lightning Lasso onto Drake. Multiple pressure points here. This is exactly what you want to be doing. If you're Smexen, just kite back and hit whatever you can. Don't take damage, do damage. Swap CTM, and now he's trying to purge off the Divine Favor here off of Brain here. He does get it off, and now Smexen could be in trouble here. Full counterspell secured, full polymorph secured to follow it up, and big damage. And honestly, Ceruleum's been doing that the whole time, the entire game, just counterspelling the healer. A problem with counterspell. Ooh, he might have to ice block here. He's taking big hits here. Okay, he gets a big hit. So the problem with counterspelling the healer, if it's a paladin, is that Vitality Conduit is not on a holy school. It's actually on a nature school. So even if you're kicked as a paladin, you can basically guaranteed pre-vitality every poly if you have it up. So he's not getting that much value out of it. Maybe you should CS these lassos instead.
Yeah, I think that's a good observation. A Hammer of Justice on Gorecki. DR Ring of Frost. Smexen might just get dropped. Blinding Light is going to be the bubble sacrifice coming in. What a good push there by M2KC. 25% dampening. And Smexen now starting to, be a little bit more afraid. I don't know if he had his Astral Shift. Maybe he could have used it a little bit earlier, but definitely a close call. Gorecki is going to be more than happy, I guess, to trade his Divine Shield and that sacrifice. And now Spacestation Gaming looking to reverse the pressure just a little bit. Ceruleum still, of course, has his Cauterize. He has his Ice Block. Lots of defense available, but he is falling further and further behind. Nice Ring of Peace there by Drake, throwing in some Vivifies as well to try to help out his team and actually keep Ceruleum alive. Polymorph spams coming in from Ceruleum. Good control on that Mage just to slow down the game. I would say in terms of just exchanging blows, Space Station Gaming is going to have an edge. When you see M2KC pull ahead, it's going to be when they do get these crowd control change and they go for the burst with combustion. That's going to be the edge of M2KC. So definitely have to look for those setups from M2KC. If they can find them, that's going to be their main win condition.
Trillium actually running Breath of the Dying, so might be an exposed target here in a stun lock later on. They're going after Drake with the lasso. They disrupt it with a counter spell. Touch of Death from Chun-Li doesn't get any value. Mana still reasonably even between Gorecki and Brain. No massive advantages in that regard. Cooldown favored slightly to M2KC. Actually, probably massively in favor of M2KC for at least another minute here. They're going to use a bop to break out of crowd control, but then get caught on the polymorph. Smexon's trying to heal himself back up. Drake's all over him at the moment, but not able to get too much pressure out through that blessing of protection. Unfortunately, Brain now in the Hammer of Justice. Smexon lobbing some lava burst. Fist of Fury gets Dragon's Breath. Nice timing by Ceralium. Chun-Li goes back onto Ceralium almost immediately here. Pushing for some damage here, deep into damage. Dressigat drops. Are they ready for it? Ring of Peace interrupts the poly. Double leg sweep. Beautiful setup by Drake, but that Ring of Peace from Chun-Li totally shut down Ceralium. He's not able to get in there. Poly on Chun, paralyzing Gorecki 3 versus 1 on Smexon, trying to push him over in game number 1 here. Space Station Gaming has won 3 out of 4 of the last series this year against M2KC. Can they win this one here? Brain gets powered over. It has to Divine Shield. Almost going down. Beautiful swap. Ceralium is still low on health. Brain tries to recover with Avenging Wrath. Looks like it is going to be enough here as he pulls back to the pillar. Gorecki running away from Brain, trying to avoid the hammer. Brain pulling Ceralium back in the fight. Consistently getting pushed back down, though. Avenging Wrath not getting a huge amount of value. Brain spent a ton of mana to heal through that onslaught of Space Station Gaming, and now Gorecki is slightly ahead.
Ooh, beautiful lightning lasso here. Smexon fakes out the kick from Drake, and he has his Stormkeeper. He's going to zap Brain with it. Very, very big damage here. Sean goes for the trampoline play against the wall there. Brain now going to be in Smexon's line of sight, but unfortunately, no wind shear available for Smexon for one more second. He's going to get the Holy Light up with Ceralium. He's taking fat damage here from Chun while Brain is trying to stabilize himself. Chun and Smexon doing so much work right now, getting a lot of pressure here. Fist of Fury coming out. This could be the ice block here. Ceralium using Temporal Shield. He gets the combustion off here as well. Drake now taking a decent amount of damage as well here. Might have to use his Touch of Karma here. Chun getting polymorphed up. He's going in for the place here onto Brain. He gets the fat leg sweep. Brain going to use that Blessing of Protection to break out of it. And now he's got Divine Favor. He catches a big heal with it, but still Drake exposed here in midfield. And so is Ceralium. Now Brain has his wings, and he should be able to recover his teammates here. But that was a close call, and it's all because of Chun doing so much pressure onto the mage, and then when the mage is low, he just starts tunneling the paladin. That's going to free up Smexon to deal with Drake. That's going to, make Ceralium play defensive. You got a full Ring of Frost. Astral Shift connects here. Smexon's going to be in trouble here, man.
Oh, definitely. But the thing is, they do have the Divine Shield sacrifice to fall back on. Smexon gets interrupted. Do they have the damage to take him down? Gorecki cannot mess around. Now they're going to be turning it around. And it looks like Gorecki will be able to bubble out of the crowd control, drop the sacrifice, paralyzed now on Brain. They're trying to get some damage rolling out of Ceralium, but I can't help but feel like Smexon is the most vulnerable person in this match. I mean, Ceralium, he still has his Ice Block, he still has his Cauterize. Smexon has really no invulnerability cooldowns at this point. He's just going further and further behind. Ceralium drops a Meteor, and the Polymorph comes in. It looks like M2KC will claim game number 1. I feel like Space Station Gaming, they had a lot of pressure in that match. Lots of moments of opportunity, but the problem is, Smexon, he doesn't have Ice Block like Ceralium, just lacking on crowd control as well. So eventually M2KC are able to find these big win conditions, and as a result, they will get that first game.
Yeah, now currently 1-0 M2KC here on this best of 5 series. Space Station Gaming now going to be choosing their map choice pretty quickly here. We can take a look at the match results here. Really, where was the turning point on the side of M2KC? I feel like Space Station, like both of those teams for quite some time, were looking pretty healthy, and then in the end, Space Station Gaming went down Zico.
I feel like in deep dampening, if you get a CC chain on the pally, Smexon's going to have to use something every single time, and they were able to get a couple of them there in the end, in a row. I think, actually, now that we've seen the comps play, I would say M2KC are favored. I feel like the way Space Station Gaming wins is if they can do a random swap to Brain, they can do a random swap to, anybody really on M2KC and burst them down very quickly. But I feel like it's extremely hard to do when Brain is, well, number one, he's the most unkillable paladin in the game, obviously, according to Sid. And number two, he's got those ineffable procs to save his teammates. So you can't kill his teammates and you can't kill Brain. Who do you kill?
Yeah. Who do you kill? That is the question now. Space Station Gaming certainly on the back foot here for this last series of the day. What do we think their next move is here? Do they keep playing that composition, maybe readjust their strategy going into game 2, CPTs? What do you think we want to see from this team?
I'm trying to think if there's any map that helps them. Well, I feel like there isn't. What other comps? They don't want to. I feel like they don't want to bring in Thug on Destro. They tried the Demon Hunter Windwalker, but I actually feel like this is just tough for them. It's going to be really hard. They have to make it really deep and damp for the Shaman kind of persistent pressure to start to matter, similarly to WizK. WizK's pressure, they have to get really deep and dampening for it to start to matter, and I don't know if they can if M2KC play well here. In the past, when they were winning, when Spacestation Gaming was winning against M2KC, they had Mistweaver still, I think. And that's when Mistweaver was really strong. That was a pretty big deal.
Can I ask you guys something? How do you feel about, and we talk about this a lot, how do you feel about Gorecki playing Relentless over Trinket?
I think anybody who still plays Relentless in these matchups that are just relying on, killing and dampening is giving up one powerful cooldown and dampening.
Yeah,
make a good argument against that. If you set a CC chain with Relentless,
I was going to agree with you, so I'm not going to make an argument. But yeah, I think it's just rough because anytime Smexton's in trouble, it has to be Divine Shield sacrifice. Whereas if it was Trinket sacrifice, then you have Divine Shield to just heal also. So yeah, I think what you're saying is true. And I think just having more cooldowns you can rotate through and dampening, because you can pair the Trinket. You can have Trinket sack, and then you can have Divine Shield. You could even just bop a stun or something like that. Just little things like that, or get out a Vitality Conduit. I think would be super impactful in the match. And although you do sit, a little bit longer crowd control chains overall, I feel like it's usually all or nothing. A lot of times those crowd control chains don't actually net anything, and it seems like Smexton is going to be completely fine. So I think that's one minor adaptation Spacestation Gaming, in particular Gorecki, could make to survive these all-ins from M2KC, but we'll have to see. Ashmane's Fall will be the map for Spacestation Gaming and M2KC. They are going to be picking the Fire Mage Windwalker Paladin. No surprise. I actually don't know if Roasties has played it. Has Roasties played at all in this round robin? I don't think he has.
I don't think so. I don't remember him playing.
If he has, I don't think they won.
I think they lost a game with him. But
whoa,
I feel like they did.
That's a different class.
What?
You're desperate when this happens. Thugbear would have probably been better.
Oh, don't give them ideas. They'll do it.
Wait, this is a good comp. Isn't Wait a minute. Isn't there a Moonkin high rated on the ladder who plays this? I think I know his name.
Quick pointer. I want to see Drake either go Ride the Wind or what's the other one? Tiger's Lust, so he can remove those.
Remove the root beam. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see him go that talent. I'm sure he will.
All right, well, Space Station Gaming locking in this composition here. Smexton on the Balance Druid. Don't remember. Have we ever seen Smexton play Balance Druid in a tournament?
I don't think so. It's pretty similar to Ellie. You put your dots up and then you press Star Surge instead of Lava Burst. It's pretty similar, and you get Frenzy Regen in bear form instead of Ellie Shaman where it's Astral Shift, and then you run out of that, you're kind of running around. So, it should last longer than Ellie Shaman. And then if it lasts longer, they get that deep dampening stage, then you might win with dots.
I'd say the one thing that's really sad, there is some extra benefit to being a Balanced Druid, right? Like you said, you have the bear form, the Frenzied Regen, but you also miss out on Purge, which I think is strong against mages and paladins. You miss out on Grounding Totem to disrupt CC chains. You miss out on Wind Shear to dispel CC chains, and Hex on the mage. I just feel like Smexton's going to be really, really tanky, but I think he's also going to be vulnerable to big all-ins. And what I would like to see from M2KC is use Maledict.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
Always a good idea to use Maledict against Smexton. It's kind of a soft counter against the Frenzied Regen. So when you do get crowd control, Smexton is horrified. He can't just use Frenzied Regen. It's all going to get soaked up by those Maledicts. And I think if M2KC does that, they're going to be looking good.
I wonder what their strat's going to be. Just attack mage? It looks like it so far, but Smexon jumps into bear form while Gorecki's crowd controlled. Even in bear form, not looking too
Malik.
safe at the moment. Oh man, that's it, KO. As I was saying, you know, Boomkin's tankier than the L. He dies to bear form and
Man.
Probably not picking that again.
You don't think they want to try it out, like
Bugbear.
hash it out a little bit? Alright, you just want to
DK
see.
Shaman actually probably wins this.
I think it's time for the Windwalker DH personally.
That would be okay.
That actually is something that they looked pretty good at. Like,
You don't.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. How you feel like
That's
that would
so
go well
sad.
against M2KC? You think, Zico? Yeah, that was a short
Oh
game
man,
for sure.
the comment
That-
in the chat when we have delay, I read it right after Smexon gets a one shot. I wouldn't underestimate Smexon on Boomy. Watch him beat on M2KC. The irony of that's the first comment I see with the delay.
That comment is not gonna age well. We do have a little bit.
You guys don't feel like if they had a second try though with that composition, they would be able to kind of figure it out? I mean, clearly that's not how they were expecting game number 1 to go, or this game.
Like
game number
this is
2.
this is what I'm talking about. I mean, look at Gorecki's cooldowns. It's just it's a paralyze into a ring of frost, and they just maledict and they combust. And Gorecki basically has one option. He can bubble sacrifice. So he has to bubble sacrifice the opener. I mean, Smexon, maybe he could have trinketed. And used the renewal, and that would have soaked up the maledict, and maybe frenzied regen would have kept him alive. But I feel like if you don't have the experience in those situations, those exact situations, then it's going to be hard to react. And I think if there's going to be a team like M2KC is going to be able to punish you if you're not reacting accordingly. So that's why I just think it's really rough.
Yeah, now they're down 2-0. Could potentially be another 3-0 today. This is a best of 5 series, last series of the day. All these teams are fighting for that top 4 spot in their region for this BFA AWC circuit. So this is going to be a difficult turnaround for Spacestation Gaming. What is their next move there? It seems like you guys collectively agree. We don't want them to lock in Boomkin again. We discussed their options a little bit. Do we bring out Thugbear? Do we see him on his Warlock? What do you think, Zico?
Absolutely not. I think if that, well,
Absolutely
Someone
not to
leave me-
which, the lock or the bear?
both. We
Okay.
absolutely do not want to see the bear. Well, I don't actually know how powerful the bear is going to be, but I don't want to see it. I don't want to see
I
the
don't
lock
like this.
either. What?
I'm gonna say because Super G's you said you said that all the druids are retired to the national parks and they're hibernating, and now you're saying that you want to see them. So can you make up your mind?
I mean, that's
Yeah, should he lose a
desperation.
point for that?
I think that's a minus point.
What? It's just
so true.
desperation. I mean,
Take the sticker off right
I
now.
don't think you play a druid voluntarily. What? This is rigged.
Wait, did you
This
give
is
him like two
unfair.
stickers
I'm getting bullied out of
No,
a
I
sticker
did. I
right
gave
now.
you 2 stickers. That's
I'm
where we're
getting
at.
bullied out of a
Did you?
sticker right now. This is
I'm
not
gonna
fair.
be honest.
Oh, it's
I'm
an
really
excess.
bad at
Not
keeping track
fair.
of this. It's
I'm a big fan of the sticker system, by the way.
This is not
back
fair.
it up. We'll have to hash out
like
the
it a
official
lot.
rulebook later tonight or something like that. But no, you guys are all
We're gonna rehearse that
pretty
next
evenly
week.
matched in the sticker game currently. Oh,
Looks
gosh.
like Mew Mew
Looks
Kitty
like-
Cat got
Mew
into the
Kitty
boom
Cat
chicken
going.
coop.
Who wrote that?
Okay.
What is a coop?
A coop is like a nest for chickens,
Where
but
chickens
human made.
hang out.
It's like a house,
It's a
yeah.
human-made
a house for
nest.
chickens.
Is it like the fox in the hen house or what? I don't get it.
Yeah,
No, it's just like
But-
the cage that you
Okay.
put a chicken in,
but it's a cat instead.
like a wired chicken coop. But
Yeah, I know.
So-
I understand what the coop is now, but I meant like the whole sentence.
okay.
I saw.
Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah. What do they do?
Demon Hunter
Ellie
Windwalker.
Shaman, I'm not convinced. Moonkin, not gonna do it for me. Anyways, maybe they could try again. That's one of the really sad things when that happens to
Oh,
you.
let's go back to mains.
And they are gonna be. This is just. It's one of those things that makes me so. This reminds me of the Unitas series where like they lost game number 1 pretty badly, and then they try to switch it up in game number 2, and they just lose instantly, and then they just go back to their main comp, which that gives you that's a telltale sign of their headspace. I mean, Blaze Edge Arena, this is kind of a pocket pick for Spacestation Gaming, so that trampoline cleave gonna be looking decent here. I mean, they are missing 1 trampoline from the Mistweaver Monk, but I still think that they can make this work. But we'll have to see. I think Shamans they're kind of vulnerable to the all-in, and I really want to see Gorecki. Oh, he is. He's using Trinket, thank goodness. I think that was a big mistake by Gorecki,
Yes.
so I'm super happy that he changed it up.
This is a mistake that we saw Cedu make as well. This is a mistake we saw Gex make as well. Like, just play Trinket, guys. Get with the meta. Trinket Vitality, Trinket Sack. That's the meta right now, and I love to see it.
We'll see if they can utilize it here to pull off a win. They're on match point. M2KC are dominating right now. Space Station Gaming need to turn it around. They go back to their clutch trampoline Blades Edge Arena, looking to bounce the opponents off of the bridge. Let's see if they can utilize it effectively here. Smexon is taking a big hit at the moment. Ring of Peace knocks Gorecki off, and the map is backfiring a bit because Drake also has Ring of Peace, so this could end up coming back to bite them strategically. Australian and Smexon still the main targets for each team. Drake pulling back towards Chun-Li for a moment, not going to be swapping, right back onto Smexon, looking to disrupt him just a little bit here. Stormkeeper trying to pump into Drake, but Gorecki's in a polymorph. Could be a scary moment for Smexon. Gorecki decides to Trinket. Brain gets intercepted on his way through mid-bridge. Lightning lasso on Drake, good combo. Big hit for that Justigat. Drake trades the Karma. Don't anticipate any bops aggressively here from Gorecki. He's going to hold on to it defensively for Touch of Death, likely. Brain is still charging in. Gets the Blinding Light. Triple crowd control, potentially. They've got Smexon isolated at least. He trades Astral Shift. Will it be enough here? He's holding on. Purging, trying to get some heals with the Purge just from the Honor talent there. And get some instant healing, but Gorecki is still poly there on match point. They can't afford to throw. There's no sacrifice. Double stun here. Gorecki bubbles. Does he have enough throughput? It's match point. Barely staying alive here. Divine Favor. Bombs in. Thunderstorm knocks Drake off the side. Buying just enough time, but if it's looking dicey at 1 minute and 46 seconds into this game, what's it going to look like 10 minutes into this game?
That was an insane opener here. M2KC basically forced out every single cooldown. They have a single blessing of protection on the side of Space Station Gaming to rely on for the next couple of minutes. They really need to drag it out. They need to somehow stall. And the best way to do that is actually with offense. You need to try to stop Ceralium from getting his CC chains. Gorecki's positioning is premium right now. And they just need to hit people, attack them, force them off you. Don't allow Ceralium to just get these sheeps and then get in position and set up 3v1 situations like this one. Here we go. Combustion gets popped. Gorecki is in a full paralyzed into a sheep, and Smexon is in a world of trouble. Do they have the Dragon's Breath as well? I think they do, actually. They don't. And that could have just been the game if you had the Dragon's Breath there. If that setup was a little bit better, that could have straight up just been a checkmate situation there. Drake getting Hammer of Justice, gets dispelled there by Brain. Nicely done. Drake's going to keep chasing Smexon here in that situation. Gets kicked on the Stormclepter. Drake is going to reposition far away from Ceralium, but this map, there's nowhere to go. They need to start using the Nox. Where's the trampoline? Ceralium's going in for the Dragon's Breath Sheep. Potentially, Brain gets the Hammer of Justice. Ring of Frost should be easy to land here, but he gets wind sheared. Smexon jumps down, saves the day for now, but he will get the sheep and the Ring of Frost here. Finally, it's going to connect. Blessing of Protection. Can they strip it off here? So much damage coming out, but Smexon is going to be able to sit with that Blessing of Protection, assuming Ceralium is playing Kleptomania and he just didn't have it there. Still a nice push.
Definitely a nice push, and let's see what M2KC is going to be able to get done as this game continues. So far, Space Station Gaming, they have been on the back foot. Let's see what they can do. Who are they going to go after? It seems like Ceralium's still kind of a prime target for them. Maybe they go after Drake. Drake's actually been doing a great job with his Transcendence, so when he does get knocked off the side, he just uses that Transcendence to get back up on top. As you can see right there, it's exactly what just happened. So Drake back on Smexon. I think that's one of the problems. The trampoline cleave isn't going to work out nearly as well against a Windwalker Monk. You can use that portal. Chun-Li trying to get the double leg sweep. Ceralium with a nice shimmer is going to completely shut that down. Now not any stuns, can get crowd control on Chun-Li. And now M2KC is going to be looking to reverse this attempt and try to take down Smexon.
Well, let's see if they can keep up the momentum. The cooldowns are starting to reset, so that early lead is basically lost. They're going after Brain a bit here, but Avenging Wrath is up. It's unlikely we see him go down. He's going to stabilize the whole team. Double Dragon threats. Are they swapping to Gorecki? Hammers of Justice, not going to be trying to get a poly. Ceralium gets intercepted. They go for Blinding Light instead. This is going to be a long crowd control chain. Double leg sweep. Nice timing by Drake. Smexon does get the Astral Shift up, though, right before it, anticipating the attack, reducing a ton of the damage during this crowd control chain. They keep the chain coming, though, with another polymorph. It's likely to end after that quarter, though. Dragon's Breath for 1 second, really trying to power through and maybe bait a sacrifice on top of the Astral Shift, but not finding enough damage. Now Ceralium getting crunched by the Earthshock, pops the Temporal. Brain gets stunned on his Divine Favor. Smexon should look to purge that. He's trying to. He does get the Divine Favor off. There's pressure in two places. Where did this come from Space Station Gaming? Suddenly big momentum swing, having to trade out the Karma to survive. Looks like no bop for Gorecki to remove it. Drake should begin to stabilize, paralyze, triple crowd control again here, going after Smexen, defensive lightning lasso. They disrupt it, big hit. Gorecki with the Holy Avenger, bombing in the Holy Lights off to the side, trying to stabilize Smexen throughout the assault. Dampening kicks in, and now once again, the tide is shifting. Ceralium and Drake now low on health. No cooldowns really for Brain in terms of healing through, but Ceralium pops Blazing Barrier. They use Ring of Peace to protect Ceralium. Chun-Li gets knocked by the Crackling Jade Lightning. Good move by Drake, stalling. Now Ceralium gets bounced off the side by Chun, but not too bad there with him able to scorch from the top of the pillar. Smexen and Chun now falling a bit behind here, and it's just back and forth between M2KC and Space Station Gaming.
Yeah, and Ceralium is looking for a sheep onto Chun right now. There's no dispels available. He's going to Dragon's Breath to Fist of Fury, trying to fake out Smexen on the shear. There's a dispel as well, and now he wants to push in, and nice knock there by Smexen, setting up 3v1, but Drake Trinket, he gets the counter leg sweep, and nice paralyzed into sheep. Smexen in a lot of trouble here, but he just grounds all the burst here with the combustion. They get the blind here as well from Brain, but I don't think they have any more crowd control. The Hammer of Justice, the final thing that they have there, and I do believe, did Gorecki use his human racial there because he got out of the stun, but his trinket is still off cooldown, so that must have been what happened there. Brain getting counter hodged, but it looks like Ceralium is going to be fine. He gets bounced off the pillar, going to be running back up here. And once again, it looks like Space Station Gaming are playing to survive, and they are, big damage onto Drake here actually, but he does have his karma again, so should be fine. This looks like Space Station Gaming are basically playing to survive and then trying to one-shot somebody. And M2KC, they're playing a bit more standard game where they're just going for, sheep on the Shanli, force out the Dispel, then another sheep on the Shanli, and then they push in with the Mage and the Paladin together and try to set up, a sheep, ring, Hammer of Justice, whatever.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair, and it kind of is like the nature of the compositions as well. I mean, for Smexen, he's got a lot of disruption, he's got a lot of burst damage, lacking in the crowd control department, whereas for Ceralium, he's got a lot of burst damage, he's got a lot of disruption, and he has polymorph, so I mean, those things definitely work in the favor of M2KC when they can get that crowd control, but I think this trinket adaptation from Gorecki is going to work out quite nicely as this game goes on. It's going to be another kind of thing that we see M2KC have to work towards to actually claim victory in the match. Nice knock there by Smexen. Brain going to be sent into the other side of the world at that point. Ceralium actually getting bursted down. He gets interrupted, paralyzed on Gorecki. They're going after Smexen. Both teams firing shots right now, and it is going to be Ceralium who does manage to hold on with this temporal shield, and now a big setup here on the Smexen. Polymorph onto Gorecki into a full blinding light. He's got the trinket. Is he going to use it? Battlemaster from Smexen appears to be enough for now. Another polymorph on Gorecki. They want to get more cooldowns, but they can't. Smexen definitely going to be scared once that Battlemaster falls, and it looks like Gorecki is going to connect the sacrifice. A beautiful Ring of Peace there by Drake.
Knocking Smexen off the side. They swap back to Chun. Chun's ready for it with Fist of Fury flying. Gorecki stabilizes here with the Sacrifice, Avenging Wrath. Stun on Ceralium. Space Station Gaming launching an assault here with the double stun Lightning Lasso, but Brain is ready there to deflect. Gorecki gets counterspell. These counterspells could be game-winning for M2KC from Ceralium every single time. It's a major push window, but in that instance, Gorecki had Vitality and decides to use Divine Shield as well, potentially not feeling exactly comfortable there now at 21% dampening. They could swap to him maybe in the near future. Combustion coming up in about 28 seconds. Gorecki's taken to center bridge as he's trying to reposition away from Ceralium. Brain could intercept them. Brain chooses not to. Gorecki repositions. Ceralium polymorphs Chun. Chun gets dispelled into another poly. Breaking out there prematurely. Smexen's got that Stormkeeper. Big lightning bolts coming into Ceralium. And is Brain ready? He's got Avenging Wrath up. Goes for a Holy Light. Big heal on that Dressigath connect from Chun. Ceralium begins to get pulled back up as Smexen begins to fall back. 10 seconds left for Avenging Wrath on Gorecki's side, but Brain's in a paralyzed, constantly back and forth for 9 minutes straight here in game number 3. Match point for M2KC. Triple crowd control potentially engaged here on a Smexen, but Gorecki saw it coming. Vitality conduit right before the stun. Smexen's still going to respect the chain, trade out the Astral Shift here, but he's caught in a double stun. That defense is about to crack. Gorecki's still in crowd control. They knock Drake back, but he's immediately reconnecting. Meteor crashes in. Gorecki pops Avenging Wrath. If he gets interrupted here, it could be game over. Goes for the Divine Favor. Connects a big heal, but still, any interrupt here from Ceralium might be enough to close the game. Gorecki's got to be very careful. Brain stabilizes his team. Gorecki stabilizes his now as well, but M2KC are starting to swing, I feel like, more often than not in terms of momentum.
Yeah, definitely. They still have all of their cooldowns here, but Cerealium's taking some damage. There it is. Paralyzed onto Brain, but Chun gets sheeped here. Excellent timing there by Cerealium. Definitely was about to get bursted extremely hard right there. And now it's Smexin taking the brunt end of the damage. You can see Drake making his way back there with the images, trying to do as much damage as possible here. Cerealium pre-blinks before the ring knocks him out there. Very quick fingers on that man. And he's not going to be able to find a sheep, unfortunately, though. Not going to have that shimmer to potentially reach Gorecki with a sheep cast. He's looking for it, but he is in a very aggressive position, and he's not going to be able to stand here for too long just tanking damage. If anything happens to Brain, he's going to need to abort the situation. Now, blessing our protection, he's going in for the Ring of Frost, and that's because Smexin has a grounding totem. Could use a grounding totem to ground the sheep there, potentially. And instead, he's going to go for the ring, and they do force out the trinket there of Gorecki. Gorecki also dangerously low here. Sean as well getting swapped to. He's going to use the Karma there. So a lot of cooldowns here from Spacestation Gaming being used, but they do have a slight mana lead. That's pretty much the only thing going in their favor right now, then.
Oh, Touch of Death on Cerealium. It does explode, but unfortunately not doing too much. And now Spacestation Gaming, they are falling apart at this point of the game. Smexin just getting absolutely run over. Gorecki does have the sacrifice available if he needs a double blinding light going in. Smexin getting low. Can he connect the sacrifice? It's going to be very important. Battlemaster does come out from Smexin with the Astral Shift. That's a lot of defense, and luckily for Gorecki, he does have Bubble rotating back up. But Chun-Li also great target gets deleted. The slappers, I think it was a bunch of slappers from Drake that Brock and M2KC. We're going to see that in the replay, but I swear that was Nazoth tagging in there. And they managed to pull out the 3-0 victory.
That was me. I was doing one-handed claps. It looks better on camera.
It's
sure.
really